Looking for a guaranteed way to create content that resonates with your audience? Start a podcast, interview your ideal clients, and let them choose the topic of the interview. Because if your ideal clients care about the topic, there's a good chance the rest of your audience will care about it too. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show.
Hello, my name's Todd Hockenberry. I'm the founder of Top Line Results, a company that helps manufacturing companies grow. We've been doing this for over 10 years, and my background's over 30 years in the manufacturing space. And I am thrilled to be here as your co-host of the B2B Growth Show, and I'm going to be focusing on the manufacturing topic. So we're going to start out with a series called 5 Things You Must Do Right Now to Grow Your Manufacturing Business. All right, we're going to jump right in. Our first topic is going to be, you need to manage your contacts. Sounds pretty basic, sounds pretty simple, almost insulting, really, right? How could we not know where our contacts are or where our customers are? You'd be surprised, and many of you listening probably are guilty of this. I remember a story recently where I walked into a prospect and sat down with the president of a company, very successful capital equipment company. Products started at $250,000 a piece and went up to over $1 million a piece of equipment. And one of the first things I asked him was, I said, well, how do you communicate and market to your current customer base, people that already have bought your equipment? And he shook his head and kind of said, well, you know, we kind of keep in touch with them when they need us, and we see them at trade shows, and when they have a problem, our service guys talk to them. And he kind of was waffling on this, and I had to press him, and he finally said, yeah, we honestly don't know where all of our equipment is. We don't have good enough records to know exactly where all of the equipment over the last 15 years has been installed. And that's the problem, folks. You've got to know where your customers are. Seems simple, but it's not as simple as you think. So what you have to do is you have to identify not only where your equipment or where your products are being shipped, but who's using them, who the people are in those companies. And that means you have to have some kind of marketing automation and sales automated tool, a CRM of some sort that allows you to keep track of who you need to talk to. I'm not talking about prospects. I'm just talking about customers right now. You've got to create a tool and a system that allows you to keep track of the people that are the ones that you need to be in touch with the most. And why is this important? It should be obvious, but it isn't. Up to 15 to 20% of your database can go bad every year. People change jobs, people leave, people move around. The person who bought your equipment or installed your equipment or bought your component or consumed your service in the past is up to 20% of those people are going to be gone, moved, and different this year versus last year. So in a few years, your significant portion of your database is going to turn over. So you've got to know who those people are. You've got to have a tool that allows you to follow up with them and keep track of who those people are. You cannot rely on them to call you when they need something, because guess what? That person that's the new person on the block may not remember you, may not care about you. What are they going to do? They're going to pull out their phone. They're going to sit down at their laptop or their computer, and they're going to do a Google search. And guess what? They're going to find 10 of your competitors that are going to be more than happy to come in there and take care of them and respond to them because you didn't keep in touch with them. You've got to regularly clean, review, and update your database. There is no asset a manufacturing company has that's more important than their contact list. So not only do you have to keep track of it, you should be expanding it. You should be building your relationships within your customers. You should be expanding the contacts you have there. for the obvious reasons. Number one, that you can keep in touch with them so that you don't miss anything and they know how to get a hold of you when they need you. Number two, you can communicate with them valuable information about updates, upgrades, new issues, problems that you know about that you can proactively get ahead of, and ultimately to expand the value you provide to them so that you can sell them again or sell them expanded cross-sell, upsell types of products or services. Again, you've got to capture all of your contacts in one central place. It cannot be on your salespeople's phones. It cannot be in a spreadsheet. It cannot be spread out across your company. You have to own this internally. And again, it seems simple to say this. And if you're doing this already, congratulations. And that's awesome. Keep doing it. But the reality is I talk to dozens of manufacturing companies every week, and this is a very, very common problem. So this is a huge priority for companies that are in the manufacturing space. Get control of your contacts. And if you want to grow, this is your number one thing you got to do. All right. So again, you don't want to be reactive with your contacts. You want to have this database in place so that you can be proactive and develop good email campaign outreaches, good one-on-one outreaches from your salespeople, proactive customer service where you're driving value-added conversations, where you're using things like, did you know that if you bought this, that you could buy these other accessories or add-ons or improvements? You definitely need to be thinking about your database as an asset that you can grow and build on. Most companies focus on net new business, and the cliche is that it's 5 to 7 times more money to cost to get a new customer than it is to keep an existing one. And that needs to be expanded to say, and it costs that much more to get a new one every day because competition's tougher. It's easier to find competition. And if you keep that customer, not only can you save the money in terms of marketing and sales to get that new ones, but you have the opportunity to continue to add value in an ongoing way and build on those sales and build repeat business and build referral business and get recommendations. Again, if you're not proactively managing your customers and your contact list, then you lose the opportunity for those things. We're going to get to the case studies and the testimonials and the referrals later on, but you've got to have this database in place. You've got to have it under control. And if you don't, you're going to be at a significant disadvantage against your competition because the people that control those contacts and understand them and know them, grow them, tend them, and manage them have the opportunity to control the message, continue to add value, grow their business, and build those long-term relationships that we all want. Without your contacts and your database managed in a strong way, you have no chance to put yourself in that position. I would submit that manufacturers would never treat information or data that's important to the production of the product or to the creation of the service. On the production side, what goes on in your factory, you would never treat core data that way. Think about how you track parts through a system and how you have data about everything that happens to a particular piece of product that goes through a production line. You're measuring, you're evaluating, you're getting better, you're applying lean principles. You're taking that part and you're going to manage it and you're going to know everything that happens at every step of the way. Why would you not treat your customers, your most valuable asset? Why would you not treat that data and that information exactly the same way? So number one on the list of the 5 things you must do right now. Don't wait, right now to grow your manufacturing business, get control of your contacts, create a centralized view of your customers so you can capture all that information in one place that everybody can see, use, share, and then you're going to grow your business significantly. Our research and our data practically in the field shows that companies that do this and create a basic value-added marketing campaign to their existing customer base will grow 10 to 15% minimum in the first year of really focusing on this. Who wouldn't want that without really spending a whole lot of money, if any, on really building your internal capability to manage what is the most important thing you own and you have in your business, and that's your customers, contacts, and those relationships. That's number one on the 5 things you must do right now. Next 4 come in the next episodes. I'm Todd Hockenberry, co-host of the B2B Growth Show, focused on the manufacturing topic. Thanks for listening.
We totally get it. We publish a ton of content on this podcast, and it can be a lot to keep up with. That's why we've started the B2B Growth Big Three, a no-fluff email that boils down our 3 biggest takeaways from an entire week of episodes. Sign up today at sweetfishmedia.com/big3. That's sweetfishmedia.com/big3.